Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I thought I would chat with you guys a little bit about what I would consider to be, basic strength standards, and I'm gonna just be brutally honest here. Instead of me being nice about this and setting the bar super, super low, and a lot of people say I'm setting the bar low. And when I make this stance, I'm not talking about competitive powerlifters, right? I'm not talking about competitive powerlifters, and I'm going to show in this video I exceed all this stuff easily at 47. All these lifts are, other than the bench, are heavier than what I said, but it's flat back. Flat back with a pause, no arch, no wrist wraps. And when I started thinking about it, I was reminded of that video I did the other day, and I'm like, when I was younger coming up, and other people have vouched for this, I want to be clear. When I've said that, other people made videos before years ago saying the exact same thing, agreeing with me, like Mark Robliner. Whether you like him or not, Mark's been in the game a long time. He knows a lot about lifting history and the lifting world. We both said that back in the day, if you didn't bench 300, squat 400, deadlift 500 before, and he's talking even bodybuilders, before you did your first cycle of gear, you got made fun of. Like, people thought you were a clown in the gym. Like, the serious lifters made fun of you. So that's the standards we had back then. That was for bodybuilding, not just powerlifting. Guys, this was all the serious lifters, because it was lifting culture more back then. If you couldn't do those things before you went on gear, you were made fun of. So therefore, the implication was that naturals were expected to do that. Let that sink in. 25, 30 years ago, in the regular, all these old school iron gyms, those old dudes, you were expected to do that natural, to have paid your dues before you did a cycle. Natural. Why is that a difficult standard for people today? And notice I didn't say that was for fat powerlifters. That was among even the bodybuilding bros. Now, people say, well, people just get bigger and fat and do that. Well, you could bulk and cut and do it. But how about we throw a body composition standard in? All right. Baseline strength then also, because we did miss the lats and the biceps and stuff. How about 10 pull-ups? 10 pull-ups. Notice I did not say chin-ups. Pull-ups. I'm doing wide grip pull-ups here. And anyone who thinks he's easy, people, oh, you're not going to turn over the bar. You reach over and go grip it as wide as I am. I'm almost to the edge of the rack. Do an overhand wide grip. Come back and talk to me about getting your chin over the bar. The average person can't. Some other people chimed in comments on that. I wish you luck there. I can do it with chin-ups. But, again, chin-ups are easy. All right. Here's what I would say. There's your baseline. There's your baseline. And you don't have to do them like I did them. All right? You don't have to be a wide grip pull-up with weight. It doesn't have to be a completely flat back bench. Right? It doesn't have to be flat back. You can do a regular bench, power bench. But I think these are reasonable standards. Right? These are reasonable. Reasonable. Why have we dropped the bar so low? And again, people will talk about, well, we're going to get fat. Yeah, but how many fat guys can crank out 10 pull-ups? Not many. So there's your body composition check. And the other thing, when you give stuff like that, people say things like, well, I can get the pull-ups, but I can't get any of the others. Well, you're going to have to gain weight. And when you gain weight, see if you can still do the pull-ups. You're going to have legs to do those others. You're going to have extra leg weight. Right? Of course you do it at 150. Can you do it at 190? Because you're probably going to weigh 180, 190 to hit those other lifts baseline, unless you're really short. People forget that too, so that's the other thing also, this is why I don't even count body weight into the equation. We have a body weight check. The pull-ups. Number 2, it's height. Pound for pound short people are way stronger. They don't have to move the weight as far. Okay? They don't have to move the weight as far. Their skeleton weighs less. Everything weighs less. Okay? So yeah, this applies to anyone. And you make a standard and people say this silly stuff. Well, that's an extreme standard. You have to gain weight. You're going to have to gain muscle. That is correct. a lot of you out there who can't hit those standards, you're going to have to put on another 10 pounds of muscle from where you are. Okay, yeah. But that's not going to help you deadlift and all that. That's not going to help you with the pull-ups. So notice I didn't say you got to bulk up that. But those are reasonable standards. Why can't they be? If we were expected to do this back in the day, before we did our first cycle, and most of us did, I did, hey, I could rep 405 on the squat clean. So why can't everyone do this? Why can't this be a standard to where we say this is baseline, this is what you should aim for? And I don't care if you're drug free or not, it's irrelevant in that regard, because strength and muscle are strength and muscle. But these are perfectly reasonable drug free standards. The problem with it is that when you give standards like this means people are going to have to consistently work for years. That's the problem. That's why they don't like it. But here's what I would say to people. If you can't consistently train for 5 or 6 years straight with no downtime, then why are you worried about strength and fitness standards? You don't live the lifestyle anyways. So you shouldn't be upset with standards like this. But this is what I am telling people. This is what I consider to be a base. This is a baseline. 315 bench, 405 squat, 500 deadlift. Right? We could call it 5 plate, 495, whatever. 345 plate. People in metric countries will cut you some slack since you guys get to shave a few pounds off. You use 3, 4, 5 plate and be able to do 10 clean pull-ups. There you go. This is baseline strength. This is the point where you get to where you can say, pretty strong, decently strong. I've got a lot of muscle. I'm jacked. I am part of the iron game. That's it. Okay? When you can do all of that, you're in the big boy club. And that's it. That's all it means. And again, anyone who wants to whine and complain, people come and say, that standard's too extreme. Well, quit setting your bar so low. Because I know people who think that standard's laughable. They're like, dude, less than a 600-pound squat? Are you a chick? I know dudes like that, so don't tell me I'm setting the bar too high. All right? This is not even powerlifting bar high, unless you're a master's lifter. You're a healthy young man, you don't have these excuses other than you haven't put in the time. All right, guys, well, that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.